going to call this meeting to order of the City Council of the City of Hawarden. We are in the City Hall, the Council Chambers Room. It is Wednesday, December 10th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. We have our standard agenda items. First item is to approve the November 12, 2025 regular meeting minutes. Was in your packet. Could I have a motion, please?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Fight over it. Go by alphabetical order. We've got a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the minutes from last meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 4-0. 1B is approval of December 10th, 2025 claims for payment. Could I have a motion, please?
A motion to approve.
And a second?
Second.
Any questions on the claims? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 4-0. At this time, we have open business from the community. Do we have anyone who would like to speak to the council tonight? Seeing none, we'll go on to the mayor's report. I do not have a report tonight, so we'll jump to the staff reports. Jacob.
Yes. We have an extended agenda this time, so I'll keep my things brief, but I just wanted to thank John again for coming back and doing another 6 months with us and closing out this term. I want to thank Patty for her continued service to the City of Hawarden and the community. She has done many, many things for the community, and this is just one of the last things that she's done as being a council member from January of 2022. Just wanted to thank her for all of that time and everything that she's done. I wanted to welcome the incoming board members, Ben and Trevor. I am excited to work with you guys as well. I also wanted to welcome Misty to the city. You guys got to see her a little bit earlier today. Misty is coming to us from Sioux City. She graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Public Accounting, and we have been working together a little over a week now, and I am excited to have her on board. It's going to be a great addition to the team. And I also wanted to thank our staff that have been putting in very long days and lots of hours to make sure that our roads are clear with these mini snow days that we've been having. So, and that is all.
Okay, thank you. Travis.
I was just going to update everybody on the park shelter. It's substantially completed. We're just working on the flooring, and then they'll get the cabinets in, and then we should be ready to go. Hopefully open that up sometime in January for rentals. Just want to get the final touches and everything, get it to be a go. I did pass out the design. We have an opportunity on the flooring, the concrete, we're going to stain it. Then they put down a polyurethane, and then they'll put this stencil out, and then another layer gets put over top of that. So I think this will be a nice addition. And then also the name was Veterans Memorial Park, or Veterans Memorial Shelter, is what the the winning name was. So that's all. We're going with that. And then substation transformers, the old substation, I've put it out there for quotes to get that scrapped out and then sent off. So hopefully in the next few months we'll get those taken out, and so we can get that area cleaned up.
Okay, thanks, Travis. Chief DePriest.
Nothing, thank you.
Carol.
I'm excited to announce that the USDA has opened up another opportunity for some people who had quite a bit of damage to the flood. They're offering $44,000 of a grant. It is an income eligible opportunity, but if you qualify, it's an easily funded one. So that'll be available for individuals or homeowners if they'd like to come in. I'm just working on a couple other grant opportunities, just getting through the end of the year. Other than that, that's about it.
Okay, great. Thank you, Carol. Jenny, anything tonight?
No, nothing, thank you.
All right. We'll open it up to council comments at this time. Does anyone have a comment?
Yes, I just want to say thank you to John for coming on board with us and helping us out here the last couple months. and also to Patty Anderson for all of her work that she put forth in serving as a council member as well.
Very good. I'm sure we all share that sentiment. Thank you to both of them.
Yeah, just say it's been a pleasure to be up here again for the last few months, and thanks to everyone for their trust and letting me sit here. So hopefully it's not the last time, but I have faith in those coming in, so we'll see where this goes.
Good.
Put that name tag back in the drawer.
Yeah, I'll save that for later.
Save it, yes.
Kept it for this long.
Anyone else?
I want to thank John, thank Patty. Your guys' experience has been paramount for all of this. Also, that there is, this Saturday, Wreaths Across America's coming, and there's about 400 wreaths that need to be laid on veterans' gravestones at the cemetery. So if anybody's willing to help, at 11:30, go to the little shop shelter at the cemetery, and Terry and Mike Carlson are kind of heading that up, and Sue DeYoung, guys at the Eagles. So if anybody wants to help do that, 11:30 on Saturday. So
Okay. How many wreaths do you have coming in?
400, I think, is what they said.
Wow.
Yeah, their plan is to have one for there's 669 veterans buried in our cemetery, and their goal for next year is to have one for every single veteran. So,
Do you remember how many you had last year?
none. Well, I think they had a handful, but not nearly as many as they do this year,
Yeah,
so.
that's amazing. Thank you for your work on that and the others also. Okay, then at this time, we have some oath of offices to give. We're going to start out with Rob. We're going to just go in front here and have you read your oath. And raise your right hand and read your oath, please.
I, Rob Fluffy, do solemnly swear I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Iowa, and I will faithfully and impartially, to the best of my ability, discharge all the duties of the City Council for the City of Hawarden, now and hereafter required by law.
Congratulations. Got a signature over there.
Sign them both,
Ben Boza.
and then, this one,
You sure? Did you check?
and then you can keep this pen with it.
I, Ben
These
Mosley,
are
do
yours.
solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Iowa, and that I will faithfully and impartially, to the best of my ability, discharge all the duties of City Council for the City of Hawarden as now and hereafter required by law.
Sign here and here with this pen. And you can keep this one and this pen. Get a free pen.
And I will faithfully and impartially, to the best of my ability, discharge all the duties of the City Council for the City of Hawarden as now and hereafter required by law.
Sign this one and this one. Congratulations. And you take this one and that pen.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Iowa, and that I will faithfully and impartially, to the best of my ability, discharge all the duties of hospital trustee for Hayward Regional Health Board as now and hereafter required by law.
Congratulations. Thank you for your service.
Sign this one and the one in your hand.
I, Danny Holsall, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Iowa, and I will faithfully and impartially, to the best of my ability, discharge all the duties of hospital trustee for Hayward Regional Healthcare Board as now and hereafter required by law.
Very good. Thank you.
I want to sign this one and this one.
Both of them?
Jacob, with the exception of probably Rob. I can email you. the
Open
class.
meetings?
Yeah.
I've got certificates for almost everybody. All right, this one's yours with that pen. Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to thank all of those who are willing to serve the city. Let's- We'll move on. We've got a public hearing to dispose of real property. Can you give us some information on that, Jacob?
Yes. So this is the one that is being sold to SD Construction. This is going to be our public hearing. I have not myself heard anything. Have you heard anything? Any public comments?
No, nothing at this time.
Okay, we will open up the public hearing at this time. If there are any comments from anyone in attendance, couldn't hear them now. Not seeing any. We will move on. Could need a motion to approve that resolution 2025-23.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2523.
And a second?
I'll second.
Further discussion? We'll do roll call. Allen.
Aye.
Warner.
Aye.
Feldacker.
Aye.
And Clucky.
Aye.
That passes 4-0. Thank you. Moving on to 4. We've got a resolution 2025-24 setting public hearing on proposal to dispose of real property. We will open the public hearing at this time.
Oh, no, this is
Oh.
just setting a public hearing.
Setting the
For
public
next
hearing.
meeting.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yep, nope, worries.
So, anything you want to add to that?
Yes.
Jacob?
All right, so the Hawarden Chamber and Economic Development is looking to purchase this property. They've had a lot of interest from people that have been trying to look for a place to put something. They show them this property, but then there's a lot of unknown stuff kind of going on. They have to build up, and they don't want to, they want to just kind of know what the price is. So a lot of people have been backing off after they show them that, and they show that this is going on. So the chamber got together and came up with this idea to just get this, spend what it needs to get it up to where it's supposed to be, so that somebody can build on it, and then somebody will have just that, that's the price that they will pay, and make it more enticing for them to come in and get it. And they are not looking to make any profit off of it. They're going to do it the same as if we were to sell it. They're just doing the work to build it up and spending that money to make it more enticing for somebody to move in there.
Any
So
questions? Yeah. Okay, got a motion
Second.
and a second? We'll do a roll call here again. Warner.
Aye.
Feldacker.
Aye.
Clucky.
Aye.
Allen.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Number 5, Resolution 2025-25, setting a public hearing to consider proposed changes to the Hawarden Code of Ordinance by amending cable television utility rates and fees.
It is my goal to have more public hearings for these ordinances that change monetary stuff for citizens. So this will just be the setting a public hearing for our final reading for the ordinance for cable rates. I want to make sure that I read clearly tonight, especially the rates and what they were and what they're going to and why, so that anybody watching later on or listening in later on can have something to kind of reference and know what's going on. So, but just setting the public hearing so that they have their chance to come give us their input before we set the rates.
Okay, any questions on that?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. We've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, we'll do roll call. Feldhacker.
Aye.
Clucky.
Aye.
Allen.
Aye.
Warner.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0, setting the public hearing. Number 6 is the second reading of Ordinance 761, which is an ordinance amending cable rates and fees of the City of Hawarden by amending sections 113.09, 113.10, and 113.13.
Yes.
Questions? Yeah.
So this is actually changing the rates. Last meeting, I spoke about it, but I know I kind of stumbled over a couple things, so I want to see if I can do it a little bit more clear for people. Currently, right now, we have two primary packages for cable. We have a basic and we have an expanded. The basic right now, without taxes, is $37.93 a month, and expanded is $92.27 a month. Now, our actual cost to the city to transmit those packages to the customer is actually $42 a month and $112 a month to transmit that to them. So we have been losing money every single month, every single customer, for everybody that has cable, and we can't sustain that if we're going to continue to have high tech be a competitive and good utility. So we are just going to try and raise it to a rate that just kind of breaks us even, so that it's not eating away at some profits. So what we have in this ordinance is to raise it up to $43 for the basic a month and $113 for the expanded. And then I also just kind of wanted to highlight that in this ordinance, it also removes the digital packages, because we are not being able to do digital going forward as beginning in early January. But I am told that only affects about 15 customers. So, and they have been sent letters to inform them of the services that are going to be changing. I think I've covered that pretty well. So that is what this ordinance is doing.
Okay, we're amending cable rates. Any further discussion? If not, I would take a motion.
I'll motion to approve the second reading of ordinance 761.
Okay, Christie, and a second.
I'll second that motion.
Rob, and any further discussion? If not, we'll do roll call. Clucky,
Aye.
Allen,
Aye.
Warner,
Aye.
Feldacker.
Aye.
Passes 4-0. Thank you. We're at number 7, approval of the leasing contract.
Okay, so Quadient has our mailer machine, and our mailer machine, what the city uses it for is it seals and stamps all of our envelopes that we send out, which includes all of our utility billing letters that go out every single month. So on average, I mean, we have over 1,200 items that go through this machine a month. It looks like the monthly increase right now, if we sign this, which is actually the lease comes up in April, but they have a program that we can sign a new contract with this year's rate increase if we sign it now ahead of time. But they anticipate that the rate's going to go up. So if we wait till April, it'll be a little bit higher. And this is just a way that they can try and give back to the people that have their current contracts, is to sign one slightly early at the year before's rates. So we don't have to sign it now. That's going to be up to you guys. But then come April, we would have probably a slightly higher contract that we would be approving for it. So.
I'll make a motion that we sign it now.
I'll second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Passes 4-0. Thank you. Moving on to item 8 is discussion on mobile vendors.
Okay, so last meeting, we had talked about doing the schedule of fees, which we tabled, which we'll have to figure out the proper process to untable. I think one of you guys will motion it to bring it off the table before we can actually vote on it next item. But we wanted to take some time to talk about the mobile vendors and maybe the definition behind it and what all is included in a mobile vendor. Specifically, there are a couple different things that were brought to our attention that we wanted to look at that were, not included in a mobile food truck. So they have the coffee that has delivered to the hospital that they serve out of there. I think it's once a month. Another one is the flower shop that is set up like across the street from Casey's. in the springtime, used to be on Sunshine, and then some other just vendors that sell things. We just wanted to bring it up for discussion, what you guys think, what should be included, what shouldn't be included, why. And the city is wanting to hear from you guys on what direction you want to go for that, so that we can put your vision on paper. Because the way that it's written right now, it would stay the same, with that being just mobile food trucks, so.
As I mentioned last time, and I'll speak about it again, that I would prefer the language to include, so it's not so just specific to food trucks. So I want it to encompass any entity that comes to our city that's not brick and mortar. They come in, they sell their items, and then they're out. So anything like that that we can think of. And Jenny, if you have any guidance on this as far as wordage, verbiage, however you want to say it, I'll gladly listen to what you have to say.
I think in crafting this ordinance, it's going to be important to define or identify a purpose of the ordinance. So typically, they're crafted towards food vendors for the purpose of ensuring safety, sanitary conditions, regulations. So if we're going to expand it, I think we have to be intentional about why we're expanding it and what public purpose we are essentially protecting. So I think that would be my take on it, is if it's expanded, we need to identify and define why and what public purpose it is serving.
Yeah, for me, you know, if it's at a private business and they bring a coffee company in there, that's a little different than on the corner of the street or wherever. So that's one thing I see is different. And then the other thing is like, she sells sweet corn, pumpkins, different things like that, outside of the farmer's market, where we start and stop and
Well, wouldn't
with that too.
If you
So
change it, if you change it to,
I think we got to be specific in what we
Yeah.
do.
as I say, if you change it to just the non-brick and mortar, like you
Yeah.
said, that affects every vendor at the farmer's market, that affects every person that comes in and sells sweet corn, that affects all the vendors that come for Labor Day weekend. I mean, that's what it is. They don't, it's not a brick and mortar store, so they'd all have to pay this. What's the purpose?
Yeah.
That's what, you know.
Right.
My goal was to, make sure I mean, everybody does a great job supporting small-town businesses, but, those small-town businesses, they give back to the community, and I don't see that with the other ones coming in. And correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know, and maybe they do. Let me know, and I might be able to change my opinion on that. So that's where I'm at with it, and I don't know if that's good enough purpose or not, Jenny, but you guys can let me know where we need to go in the direction with this.
Derek brought up the Labor Day
Oh, sure.
vendors.
Yeah.
They actually pay a fee to the chamber, I
Yeah,
believe, for
correct.
being there, so.
Well, then they had to
Then
pay,
are we
that would
gonna
have to pay a
piggyback
fee
on-
to the chamber, and they'd have to pay a fee
Yeah.
to the city.
So,
Yep.
I mean, and a lot of those people that do that are local. They, they're local-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
so I don't want to put an undue burden on them,
right.
and that's, I get the food truck thing. I really do. I get the food truck thing where making sure it's safe and all that stuff and charging a fee for it. It's kind of protecting our local restaurants as well because they're not coming in for free. They're not doing any of that stuff. I understand that, but I mean, all the other ones, I'm like, if they're there for 2 months or whatever, or one day or what, I don't see an issue with having that, That's just my opinion on it.
Where does the peddler's license stop when it comes to things like that?
You talking about like the other one, the peddler fee, where they come in to sell things?
So I mean, like, there'd be some that are subject to that already. So
That is defined as like they are selling,
Is it just like door to door?
It's door to door.
yeah.
I think that's the definition. I'm gonna look for it right now, because I was thinking that same thing, that some might be covered under that. I did check areas around us as well. The ones that have them, our food or beverage. There were some beverage ones. I think there's a margarita truck that goes around that you have to have a, right?
Wait, there's a margarita truck?
There is, oh, there is. They have to have a license.
Well, we've had it too in Sioux Center where those that had a food truck and they served inside, then they actually had to transfer, get their license to qualify them inside. So for those that are serving coffee in a facility, they might already have to do that by Iowa law, so.
All right, so can you correct me if I'm wrong here, but what I'm hearing is that this would have to be an ordinance change to do any of that.
Yeah, I'm looking at our, yes.
Okay, so no matter what happens, what we're talking about with the next item, whatever we say here wouldn't change that anyways, because we would have to do an ordinance change to change that, which I wasn't tracking, so. What I would say is for that schedule of fees, like, I wouldn't recommend to scrap that section of it, because then we're just gonna go back to what is there now, and our updated section, I think, is higher than what it was. So, I would almost
So-
recommend.
Leave it tabled until we,
Well, either that or pass this.
Pass it.
I would,
Currently
Yeah.
proposed, and then we discuss the rest later.
Yeah.
we can't do any of these fees until you pass this. Well, we can do them from the old rates, right? We're trying to get those changed, so we don't want to table it too long.
Yeah, I would say if we're gonna move, because when was it tabled? Was it last?
Last meeting.
Last meeting, then we need to take it off the table. I realize we're kind of in a time crunch because we only have one meeting because of the holidays, but sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say, because Johnny brought up a good point about the peddlers, it says, so this, Chris, you would cover some of the delivery of goods or merchandise, but just from house to house or upon public street. So I think that's where, I probably wouldn't cover the,
The park stuff.
yeah, the park stuff, the private property, but it would, I guess, if they're on the street.
I'll make a motion that we untable this and pass the current proposed fees, Resolution 2025-18.
a second.
It has to be two different motions, correct?
Yes, first we got to take it off.
My motion was to untable.
To take it off.
I'll second the untabling.
Okay. Further discussion? If not, this motion is to take the resolution off the table. Allen,
Aye.
Warner,
Aye.
Feldacker,
Aye.
Clucky.
Aye.
Okay. It is off the table. Now, is there another motion we want to make?
Well, do you want to skip first and second readings and try to actually get it approved before the end of the year? Or do you want to?
Well, we don't even have an ordinance ready for that. So this would just be to approve the new fees for
put in the
what we have that go attached to the old ordinance already. So we would have to come up with a whole new ordinance change to look at the other thing. And then I'm assuming that there's just going to be some more things I'll have to look into for different possibilities with Jenny, and then we'll bring something to you.
So moved.
Okay. We've got a motion for approving the resolution 2025-18, amending the schedule of fees.
Second.
Okay. Got a motion and a second. Warner,
Aye.
Feldacker,
Aye.
Clucky,
Aye.
Allen.
Aye.
Okay, resolution 2025-18 has passed 4-0. We'll move on to 10, to update authorized users.
Yeah, this is just to add Misty to River's Edge and People's Bank, and we are going to take off Travis because we don't want extra people that don't need to have access to it. He was our backup, and we won't need it anymore.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor of updating authorized users, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 4-0. Item 11 is Resolution 2025-26, setting wages for fiscal year '26.
Okay. I need to get down here. So, last meeting, we talked about the union contract and that we had big jumps that we needed to do for some of our guys to get them back to even just the medium range of their positions comparative to other cities in our area and people that do what they do. You asked me to crunch the numbers and see how this would affect our current year's budget. And the electric budget would be increased by a little over $14,600. And they current in our budget have that in revenue over expenses. These will all be have to be amended because they weren't built into the expenses, but we have the extra revenue over expenses to cover these increases this year in almost all of these departments, and I'll talk about the one that doesn't. So, gas, an increase of a little over $7,300. Also, they have a surplus estimated for this year. Water and wastewater are each going to be about a little over $3,600, and they can both support it. Telecom is $4,262. Now, telecom is not budgeted to have a surplus. I do not think that this amount is going to make or break what we're doing right now, and with all of our changes that we're making, it should still make it just fine. As long as we stick to the schedule, we will have internet changes coming up shortly as well. And then street, that one is $4,262, and we do still have enough money in the RUT fund to cover that as well. And then cemetery is $895, so that's not really going to move anything. And then the utilities is another $1,200. That's going to be split over 4 utilities. So also, all of these are very doable this year. We will have amendments that cover them, but nothing is going to negatively affect us to be able to do it early. Again, that's going to be completely on you, on your guys' decision on whether you want to start this January 1 with this resolution or if it waits until July.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-26.
Second?
I'll second it.
Further discussion? Okay, we'll do roll call. Feldhacker.
Aye.
Clucky.
Aye.
Allen.
Aye.
Warner.
Aye.
Resolution passes 4-0. Thank you. Next is a discussion on electric scooters. I had, in your packet, you've got some proposals. I visited with Jacob and Brian about these. I've got some proposals which provide some critical modifications in addition to the existing city ordinance concerning electric scooters, including the recent additions by the City Council. These recommendations stem from a shared desire to make our community safer for all residents, particularly our youth. The time for action is now. We must proactively prevent a potential tragedy rather than react to one after it's occurred. These recommendations are designed to mitigate risk, encourage parental involvement, and ensure that individuals possess the necessary skills and knowledge and judgment to safely operate motorized scooters. My first proposal is to require a minimum age of 10 years old to operate in the city. Operating a motorized scooter safely requires a specific level of strength, coordination, motor skills, judgment, and a basic understanding of traffic laws and city ordinances. I believe that our children that are under 10 do not have all of those skills that they need to travel safely on city streets and sidewalks. The proposal specifically is to enforce a minimum age requirement of 10 years old to operate a motorized scooter on public streets, sidewalks, or parks within Hawarden. Any questions, comments, reactions to that proposal? What are your thoughts?
It's not a bad idea. You're right on the age limit. 'Cause I've seen kids that shouldn't even ride a tricycle.
Right.
Ride them, and I don't want to see somebody get hurt. It's, 10's a pretty good, is a good round age for that idea. It's a good idea, in my mind. So.
Okay. Other thoughts? Let's move on to proposal number 2 is mandatory helmet use for riders aged 14 and under. The most serious injuries involving motorized scooters are predominantly head-related. Protecting our children must be our top priority. The proposal is to require all motorized scooter operators aged 14 and under to wear a properly fitted safety helmet at all times while riding on public property, including streets and sidewalks. Reaction?
It's about protecting the kids, really.
Do we require it for a bicycle, though?
We do not.
That'd
So
be the only
that'd be the
counter
only.
argument.
That'd be, yeah, that's, that devil's advocate counter argument. We don't require it for a bicycle. I understand the scooter goes faster, and protecting kids is a paramount, but can we require one without the other?
In my mind, a scooter is dramatically different than a bicycle. When you take a look at the size of the wheels and the stability, a bicycle would handle ruts in the street and uneven sidewalks much better than electric scooter would be. Plus, you've got kids standing on it rather than sitting on a bicycle. I feel like a bicycle is a different animal.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I
Yeah,
mean, it's-
we are talking about electric motorized scooters.
Electric motorized scooters.
That's
Not
the
the kick
difference.
ones.
It's easy to.
What's that?
slam on the
Not
brakes
like
versus-
the.
Not the
use
ones
your
you
feet
just
on.
kick.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Those don't go very fast.
No,
No, this
and
is, no, you're right. It's just, that was my counter argument.
Right.
We don't
No,
require it for a bicycle.
that's,
then-
that's a good point.
Okay.
Anything else? My third proposal is to set a speed limit of 15 miles per hour for the motorized scooters. The higher speeds drastically reduce the time available for both scooter operators and vehicle drivers to avoid collisions, leading to more serious incidents. I know I have witnessed riders on motorized scooters going faster than 15 miles per hour, and to me, it's scary to see that. The proposal would be to implement a speed limit of 15 miles per hour for all motorized scooters operating within the city limits, regardless of location, street, sidewalk, or bike path.
I have a question about, can we actually enforce this one? Because not all scooters have speedometers. So the kids don't know how fast they're going.
Right.
Can
We
this
talked-
one actually be enforced? Because they don't know.
I talked
Because-
with Brian about this, and he had concerns about the radar guns, don't do that. It would be a subjective thing, and it probably would be something that if you see somebody, and I think maybe we have some language already that if someone is driving beyond the situation, the road situation and such, that would be against the rules. Anyway, I don't know if it's in our ordinance or not, but.
Yeah, if they're operating in a manner which is harmful to public safety or to themselves or others, then we can address it.
Yeah.
Just because they're required to obey any general traffic laws under the Code of Iowa.
Yeah.
So we don't, do you really I mean, do you really need the specific language of 15 miles an hour? Because if the kid doesn't, like I said, if the kid doesn't know how fast they're going, can you give a kid a speeding ticket on a bicycle?
No.
Okay. So if there's no speedometer, you can't tell how fast you're going. Is it really fair to the kid but if they're driving it recklessly, that's a whole different animal, so.
Yeah, and frankly, if a kid is driving at 15 miles per hour on our streets or sidewalks, that's reckless as far as I'm concerned. And as far as enforcement, there would be definitely some subjectivity on the part of the police. I do think it would be good to have the police maybe pull over someone who is, in their opinion, driving too fast, and especially 15 miles per hour. It gives them the opportunity to pull them over and talk to them about it. I would not ticket somebody probably for, going 16 miles per hour or 17 miles per hour, but sometimes we need a
You pull one
limit.
kid over for going too fast, word's gonna travel that, hey, don't go too fast, you're gonna get pulled over. I mean,
Yeah.
kids are gonna talk to each other, so it's not such a bad thing, I just don't know if that,
How do you enforce?
how do you enforce it? And then having it be specifically say that, riding recklessly is a different animal. So if it said that, which ours already does, we don't necessarily need that verbiage,
Correct.
so.
Okay, yeah. And Jenny, could you look at that to see, and not right now necessarily, but just to see that our current language would cover,
Well, we don't need current language, so the Code of Iowa covers it. So any reckless use is already in the Code of Iowa. So like Chief had indicated, it's already there. Reckless
Okay.
is already there. They have to stop at stop signs. They have to, yield at yield signs. They have to yield to the right of way. They're subject to the same traffic regulations that are already set forth in the code, which would include reckless.
Would we be better to say, like, we recommend speeds under 15? And I don't know.
My concern has always been enforceability
Yeah.
within these regulations. The first two, I think, are obviously a lot more easy to regulate because they're not subjective. The speed limit's gonna cause a lot of issues, I think, from a subjectivity. We can't have subjective regulations. Can't say we can't have, but it will make
We shouldn't
Chief's
have.
job a lot harder, as well as, his officers. So that would be my concern, would just be having it be subjective.
okay. But riding a scooter recklessly is subjective, isn't it?
It is.
Okay. And would you say that,
It is defined, I mean, there's reckless defined in the code.
Yeah, willful disregard.
Yeah, willful or wanton disregard for the safety of persons or property. I mean, how are you gonna determine if a 10-year-old is being willful and not, in disregard for others? It's gonna be difficult. And what are you gonna do to them if they are?
Is Kara's driving more relaxed than that?
Yeah,
I think it is, right? You just-
yes.
It is, and there's case law out there as far as speed alone cannot be enough to determine whether a vehicle is operating recklessly. And so you need other factors besides speed.
Yeah. Create unnecessary danger, tire squealing.
okay?
I think there's a good effort to try and do that. I mean, to go 25 miles an hour on a bike, I mean, it takes effort, and a 10-year-old's not going to do that. We're on a scooter, they're there seconds. So if they're allowed to be on, like, sidewalks and to be more prone to interact with pedestrians, it's nice to give Brian some leeway so he can actually enforce some recklessness, but yeah, I think just the temptation to have that is going to be easier and more likely.
And frankly, my concern on this particular item is not so much concerns for others, but for concern for the rider who is going over 15 miles per hour and might be doing everything right, but is too fast for the conditions of the street and sidewalk. But,
I would agree with that. I mean, you know, if they're,
well, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I mean, kids will go as fast as they can down 16th Street, and I think they're banned from 16th Street now. Is that one of the streets that they're banned from?
No.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay. That's a good street to get some speed up, and, well, you get one of those scooters, you know, a little loose, and I'm concerned with the rider in this particular case. But let's move on. We'll have a chance to amend these at another time. Number 4 is consequences and parental involvement. To be truly effective, safety regulations require the active participation of parents. Fining children is often inappropriate. The primary consequence for a minor's infraction should involve the parents managing the privilege of riding the scooter. And so the proposal that I have, which is just can be changed, but to establish a range of enforcement actions dependent upon the severity of the infraction and the number of previous infractions, starting with a verbal warning, a report to the parents, a ticket issued to the parents with escalating fines of $25 for the first offense, $50 for the second, and $100 for the third and subsequent offenses, leading to a temporary ban on riding electric scooters of up to 30 days within the city limits. And the consequences can be appealed to the city council within 30 days of the infraction. Right now, I think we have the ability of the police department to take the scooter.
Yeah, that's the only enforcement action that we have is to take the
Yeah.
scooter.
Yeah. Seems to me like we should have some options prior to that. And I don't really care for the optics of the police department taking a kid's scooter and putting it in the back of the pickup. I think we want to, if it becomes necessary, to incentivize parents to take away the right of riding the electric scooters from their minor children. Thoughts?
I mean, I don't disagree with it. I don't disagree with any of this, you know. If Chief stops the same kid 6 times, you know, a verbal warning obviously isn't doing any good. So maybe you do gotta tell the parents, you know, and let that be, we don't like being subjective, but, you know, if it's 1, 2 times, it's not that big of a deal, but if it gets out of hand, then, yeah, then this gives a little bit of bite to it. And I don't disagree with it. My only question is, would this fall under the same category as a traffic ticket or a parking ticket?
Would be a city ordinance violation.
Right,
So
so like a parking ticket, basically.
it's not going to go on their driving record.
No, that's what I'm asking. I mean, I don't want it to,
No.
is it gonna affect, and can you fine a parent for something a kid did?
I see a lot,
yeah.
I mean,
I
can
see
you
a lot
legally
of
do that?
issues with this.
Yes, I do too.
I see, verbal warning's great. I think chief can report to the parents without it being in an ordinance. He has the ability to go knock on the door and say, your kid's acting like a fool. Not all kids have parents. Not all kids have 2 parents. I tell you what, my kid gets a ticket at his dad's house, I'm not paying it. You know, there's just so, this I don't like, but I think, yeah, finding the parents is probably going to have a lot of issues. And I think that's what we kind of discussed when we decided to just take the scooter away. Because, yeah, are you going to fine a 10-year-old? What happens when the 10-year-old doesn't pay?
No, you wouldn't find a 10-year-old.
No.
Can you legally fine the parent for it?
Find out.
And are they
I'm
I
going to
mean-
tell you, I'd fight it.
I mean, that'd be,
You know, what if the kid's
So-
on a neighbor's scooter and the parent doesn't know?
right.
The what-ifs go on and on and on.
And I don't want to put something in an ordinance with what-ifs.
Can't enforce.
Absolutely. None of this, I am not in favor, I'm in favor of safety 100%. I'd probably stop a kid if it wasn't even my kid that was recklessly driving, and I have done that before. And I'd do it again, just, for their safety. Takes a village, right? So, I don't know, I agree with our ordinance that we just passed not that long ago, so I don't see any of this needing to be added or amended, and that's just my opinion.
And I think that's what you said, Christy, about it takes a village. You know, we kind of talked about that. What can we do? Now school is in session. You know, maybe now is the time to push the schools to make kids more aware. Maybe we wait till springtime when they start using them. Do they use them when it's this cold?
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Brian.
I saw one the other day through the slush and snow.
Oh.
Nice.
Yes.
Thankfully, the speeds were just right for the conditions.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with the first two. Putting an age limit on it is fine. And then making a kid wear a helmet who's under the age of 14, I'm perfectly okay with that too. The other ones, I don't think we need. I mean, we got the take your scooter away, let Brian do his community thing. He knows the community too. He can handle that. But the first two, I'm completely okay with. And we talked about that before, maybe putting an age limit on it, but we weren't sure if we could. But I don't think that's an issue, and making you wear a helmet, that's fine too. But the other ones, I don't think we necessarily need to add. So.
Okay, anything else? So I think the plan is, this was just a discussion item. We will maybe put these together for a
Potential amendment.
potential amendment, yeah. And then we will have some readings where we will be able to amend and decide
That sounds good.
the wording and what we want to do with that. But I wanted to put that out in front of you now so you could think about that.
I don't know if we've offered any safety courses yet on any of this, but that's really the focus I'd like to see us move towards. Just talk to them about how important it is to be safe. while they're
100%
out
agree with
riding
you,
there,
Rob.
just like hunter safety or any other thing that is done in the public sector anyway.
And now would be the time when they're all in school and not riding their scooters, so when it does come time, they know what the rules are. So,
Well,
Yeah.
you could even have a required safety course at a certain age. I don't know.
And we've talked about that, and I think we'll probably put
I'm sure there's
something
other communities
together.
out there that do that we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We can borrow from them and do one, so.
Okay, let's move on. We've got a consent agenda. Got a temporary transfer from the Hawarden Golf Club to the Hawarden Community Center. Two of those, and ownership update for Casey's General Store.
Yep, so occasionally Casey's, corporate Casey's changes ownership over who's over their alcohol permits. It's not anything like local here, so we just pass through, shows up in my system to approve for their ownership update, and I just throw it on here, so.
Any questions?
So
Have
moved.
a motion, we got a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 4-0. We are at the end of our agenda. I would take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Me first.
And a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor of adjournment, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 4-0. Our next meeting is January 14th, 2026. Thank you.
Thank you. Way to go, John. Thanks, John. We're supposed to bring cake. There ain't no cake. That's above $25 limit or whatever, the gift or something. $5 limit.